Hey everybody, it's Chris Eads, otherwise known as Wootini, here with another Gay Gamer video podcast. This week, I hope everybody had fun at GaymerX 4. All my friends and everybody were tweeting pictures and stuff and Facebooking pictures, and I saw all these great things, and I am looking forward to getting my own taste of GaymerX at GaymerX East in November. I know it's going to be like a smaller version of GaymerX, but hopefully maybe if it does well, they can do a bigger version, or maybe they could team up with FlameCon, and I mean they are at FlameCon as a booth, but maybe they could like make it half comics, half games. I don't know. That would be awesome for me, but I think FlameCon wants to stay about comics. I also made some progress in Popolocrois, though not as much as I would have liked, because as I said last week, when I loaded the wrong save and had to redo an entire section of the game, it was sort of frustrating, and it was okay that I had to redo an earlier section because I didn't remember that section, so I was playing through it just fine. But then once I got to the section I did remember, I was like, oh, this. And then you don't want to play it as much because you've already done it once and you shouldn't have to do it again. But I powered my way through it eventually, and now I'm on to the next section, which I think I might have started, but I don't think I got particularly far with it. It's not that familiar, but we'll see. I hope that like I don't play it for another couple hours and then suddenly get to another, like finish this section and then get to a story scene where they're like blah blah blah, and I'm like, I totally remember this. But we'll see. What I wanted to talk about is obviously No Man's Sky, which I remain completely obsessed with. Although I will say that one of the free games on PlayStation Plus for October is the HD remaster of the original Resident Evil. So I'm thinking I might want to give that a go, just to see what it's like in HD and all. Also because I never finished the original Resident Evil. I got all the way to the end, but I couldn't beat the final boss. So that was super frustrating, but maybe I'll have better luck this time. I've honed my skills with years of video game playing, so maybe I can beat the boss. But yes, obviously I remain obsessed with No Man's Sky, and I've actually started following other accounts on Twitter that post like really beautiful pictures. There's one guy who posts like these amazing pictures where I'm convinced he actually goes in and photoshops them a little, because the colors and the textures are a little too rich. They're not just straight tweets from his PlayStation. He clearly puts them on his computer and photoshops them a little. Also, either crops out or photoshops out the HUD or any icons so they look just lovely. That's a little more effort than I'm willing to put into it. Although I suppose if I have like a really, really, really good picture, I might try it. But I wouldn't mind if an update gave a photo mode, you know, where like you could take a screenshot without all the on-screen icons and stuff, because taking the pictures is actually kind of really fun, because sometimes you find like the most amazing combinations of like rocks and trees and animals and plants and planets in the sky, and it just makes for a really lovely photo. I would also like an update for No Man's Sky that adds in, not so much adds in more gameplay, but just adds in more milestones, because I've said this before, like right away I reached the milestones for walking on foot, meeting aliens, and earning money, because it just happens really quickly, and all of a sudden, like, you've reached maximum milestone, which is 10. And like this past week, I reached maximum milestone in scanning alien life forms. I scanned every species on 10 planets, And, I mean, I've been to way more than 10 planets, obviously. But I usually give up, because sometimes there's no animals on a planet, so whatever. But then there's sometimes I'll be scanning, and then I'll be on a planet for a while, and I'm like, I still have like 1 or 2 species left to discover, and I'm just like, you know what, I'm bored, I'm done with this planet. I'll get them all on the next planet. Because there's going to be plenty of planets to get. There's plenty of opportunities, because you're going to be on a lot of different planets, so I figured whatever. But I feel like when they made the game, they didn't think, I feel like they didn't plan for people like me, who are really taking their time getting to the center of the universe. So, I've reached all these milestones, and I'm like, just make it 25. Give me more milestones to reach. It gives you a feeling of progression through the game when you're, like, it's a satisfying moment when you do something and then suddenly it, like, says, you know, journey milestone, and, you know, tells you what you did. And you're like, yay, I killed, you know, 70 sentinels, you know, whatever. I don't mean to, but they attack me. I was on a planet recently that had really aggressive sentinels, and everything I did, they would attack me, and I'm just like, stop it! And eventually I had to leave, because I'm just like, this is getting annoying. But I feel like that would help give a sense of progression, because I actually had a moment the other week where I lost focus, and I suddenly felt like I wasn't making any progress in No Man's Sky. With as far as the end game is concerned of getting to the center of the universe. And I'm like, and I felt like I had made all these other milestones, and I was reaching all these milestones, but not making any progress there. So I'm like, I'm gonna hit all these milestones and do all this stuff, and then what's gonna happen the rest of the time as I go towards the center of the universe? And I'm afraid that what's going to happen is I'm going to finish everything, and then I'm going to feel like, well, I know all the languages, I've scanned all the species, like I'm not going to get any kind of achievements or any notifications for doing any of this. Why should I bother doing it? I'll just gather what I need to get more warp cores, make warp cores, and just keep heading towards the center of the universe. And to me, I'm like, that's not fun. You know, that's busy work to get to the end of the game. I like to look at the planets and enjoy them and see what's new and look at the alien life and be like, oh, I haven't seen that before. You know, I don't want to just rush to the end of the game. That's no fun. But you know, so that's why I'm kind of hoping that they can do an update and add a little more stuff in, so that, you know, I mean, ideally they could add like a 4th alien language that I could learn, because I've already learned one, and I'm close. I don't know how close I am on the other 2. Hopefully not too close, because I'm taking my time. I'm trying not to activate all the knowledge stones that I see and stuff. Just because I don't, because once that's done, then I'm like, okay, there's another thing that I won't be doing as I go from planet to planet, you know? And as I lose more and more things, I'm going to go to a planet, and then there's not going to be any point to scanning everything, and, you know, you're not going to be doing any of that. So I would like them to add a little more, because I'm a little worried, because I feel like they front-load the game, and they didn't add enough to spread it out over the whole course of heading to the center of the universe. But then maybe they didn't expect that people were going to be like me and just be so anal retentive and go to every planet and every system and look at everything, or as much as you can. I don't know. But I'm still enjoying it, because once I got over it. Like, once I got back into it, I was like, oh, I'm never going to progress. But then what happened was, I went to the anomaly and I spoke to the guys, and I had actually, because what happened was I asked them to show me where a black hole was, because I'd never done that before. So I went through a black hole, which was pretty cool, and it took me to a new system, and I'm like, okay, great. But then I started wandering aimlessly and was like just going from system to system, and I'm like, ugh. So that's where I felt like I had lost my way. And then I saw another anomaly, so I went and found them, and I was like, there you guys are again. And I said to them, you know what, put me back on the course of the Atlas. And then they showed me the path, and I went, there's the path of the Atlas. I don't want to wander aimlessly, because you'll never get to the center of the universe. So I'm going to stick to the path of the Atlas and not worry about anything else. because that will get me towards the end of the game, and then, you know, I have my path back. You know, I won't lose my way, as it were. But I'm really glad that there's no new games coming out right now on PlayStation or Xbox that I really, really want to play. I feel like Horizon Zero Dawn is like the next PlayStation one that I'm just like, ooh, that looks really good. So, because like I said, I'm going to try to take a break in October and play Resident Evil, but I don't know if there's anything that'll get me to stop playing No Man's Sky. Except No Man's Sky itself. If I reach a point where I'm like, now I'm bored with the whole thing. Though I don't see that happening. I have a problem. So, come back next week and I'll try to... Excuse me. Come back next week and I will try to find something else to talk about besides No Man's Sky. Bye!